The Letitia James crusade against Donald Trump is disgusting and is a threat to every American. When you have prosecutors who are elected to office on a promise of going after one particular individual as she campaigned on, then go on to keep a campaign promise using the legal system to do it, it's unjust. And this particular case reveals how ugly that is. In this case, you're talking about a crime for which there was literally no identifiable victim. The people who did business with Donald Trump weren't individual consumers. They were sophisticated financial institutions who made money from their dealings. And yet Letitia James is using a consumer protection statute to literally make up numbers and say, hey, you have hundreds of millions of dollars in penalties that you owe. You have bond to post by a particular date of an unreasonable magnitude that even no billionaire is regularly able to meet. And to say, if you don't do it, I'm going to start seizing your property. It's disgusting, and it is a threat to not only private property, but threat to the justice system and to the rights of every American. But the good news is...
Yes, breaking news. Mexican tyrant Letitia James takes first step in seizing Trump asset, fight judgment in Westchester County, where Trump golf course is located. I don't know if you have seen this. I have a couple of videos I'm going to play so you can see exactly what is going on. Vivek went off on her like she should be disbarred. When you look at excessive fines that this woman put up, now she is taking first step to start seizing Trump property. Just imagine this. When you go down on this article, the gateway point they recently put out, Mexican tyrant Letitia James took the first step in seizing Trump asset on Thursday after his attorney said he was unable to secure a bond to appeal the massive judgment in the New York City fraud case. Letitia James filed judgment in Westchester County, where Trump's private estate and golf course is located. President Trump has 4 days to either pay the judgment or convince the appellate court to allow him to delay the payment pending appeal.
You need at least 30 days to get any of these properties sold. But the property that you alluded to, Mar-a-Lago, potentially that could be something that could be sold quickly. I think the valuation is something in the hundreds of millions, and I think there could be a buyer for something like that.
And that would be literally, if you're talking about doing that between now and Monday, that's picking up the phone, calling someone, and then literally writing a check.
Yeah, I mean, there could be plenty of international people who want to buy that property. I mean, there's properties that are priced at 150 and 200 million that are nearby that. And Palm Beach is like the NVIDIA, of real estate. It's just shot up like a rocket. And people do want to live there. They've moved there. So I think that would be the best case scenario as to property. If he's trying to sell quickly, I would encourage that.
So, all right. Now, that's 240 million estimated. I mean, who knows? You know, he's a desperate seller. In this case, someone picks up the phone and makes that call this week. So I don't know what it'd be. That's still half. Right. Of what it would be.
Yes, I want you to see this hypocrisy. These same people, few days ago, they were standing up to align with the judge when he said Trump property was just worth this little amount. Now, they are here asserting the property that he should sell it out. So it is now worth a lot of money, according to CNN. That is to tell you how deceptive these people can be. Now, continuing with that video with Vivek, he had a lot to say, pertaining to what is going on. Let me play this first before we go into another clip.
But the good news is there is an argument to push back against this in short order, and that's the Eighth Amendment. The Eighth Amendment prevents the imposition of excessive bail or excessive fines. And if there's ever an example that meets that to a T, it's the bond that's been demanded of Donald Trump in this disgusting New York Letitia James-led prosecution. This is an opportunity for the Supreme Court to step in and say, no, we're not going to stand for this kind of lawfare. Whether it's against Donald Trump or a Democrat, it's wrong. We don't want to empower prosecutors to be able to use bond and bail or bonds as a way of effectively achieving a goal that they couldn't achieve through the front door, which is bankrupting an opponent, even stopping them from being able to appeal those decisions. That's un-American. It needs to end now, not just for the protection of Donald Trump, but for the protection of every American. And in this disaster, I at least see a silver lining of some hope that that's exactly what we'll get from the Supreme Court. It's not just the current justices, not even the conservative ones, that would necessarily agree with this principle. Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a staunch defender of this part of the Eighth Amendment as well. She's no longer with us, but the other justices are. And I hope this can be another 9-0 rebuke of the kind of lawfare that we're seeing against Donald Trump and indirectly against every American in this country today. And I think it could be the most important Eighth Amendment case of the 21st century. I hope they bring it, and I hope they succeed.
Yes, the exorbitant and punitive amount of the judgment coupled with an unlawful and unconstitutional blanket prohibition on lending transactions will make it impossible to secure and post a complete bond, Trump defense lawyers wrote in a filing. Nonetheless plan to secure and post a bond in the amount of $100 million, Trump has been unable to secure a bond for the judgment full amount, his lawyer said on Monday.
To seize my properties in New York. This includes the iconic Trump Tower. As New York State Attorney General, Letitia James threatens to seize his assets. Joining us now, the 5 co-hosts, Judge Janine Pirro. All right, so the president is now taking this to the people.
Well, it appears that it's the Trump Save America Joint Fundraising Committee that is bringing it to the people. So I'm not sure that it's on Truth Social from the president. So, I mean, certainly a lot of people have talked about the fact that because the president is, the former president, has to put up $500 million in order to appeal, everyone is trying to figure out a way to help the president in one way or another. The courts still haven't had the final say on this. There's still a possibility that the court may say, you know, this is an excessive fine under the Eighth Amendment. Donald Trump should be able to appeal without putting that kind of money up.
Judge, we had Ashley Merchant on. She's the Trump co-defendant lawyer. This is what she had to say yesterday. Watch.
At this point, it's in excess, and there are a lot of people out there that are waiting for their day in court, and I think they should get their day in court. There's a lot of people in civil cases that cannot get trials until 2028. I mean, we're regularly getting trial dates for 2028, 2029. Why? Because the docket is being crowded with other cases. Other defendants are entitled to their day in court, so I just think at this point we've got to look at the big picture and start to think about judicial economy and think about the rest of the American public that actually wants to get into the court system.
So, Judge, it looks like they're more concerned about Donald Trump instead of the rampant crime and all the other stuff that they should be caring about?
Yeah, well, I mean, just look at the world we're living in. I mean, we've got Letitia James going after Donald Trump. There's crime all over New York City.
Yes, in as much as you try to pretend like you are fine with this, it is crazy. I'm talking to Libras. I've seen some saying, oh, where are the 70 million people who voted for Trump? They should be able to contribute even $1,000, you know, things like that. It is crazy. Thank you guys for always being there, sharing out my videos. God bless you abundantly.
I don't think this case is about Trump anymore. I think this case is about New York. It's about the American brand. It's about what we promise the world in terms of fairness and justice and investing capital in a country that's built the largest economy on earth. Forfeiture, seizing of assets, is that in our nomenclature in America? Is that what we tell people that want to bring their money here and protect property rights? Forget about Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. You think this is good for business in New York? You think this is good for business in America? To take a law that we used to protect people against buying refrigerators at an overpriced value decades ago and apply it against an individual and then talk about seizing assets